Hey, what's going on? I know it's been a bit, just ever so slightly, but I went to a wedding and had fun, so yeah, that's the reason. Also, I saw my family because I haven't done that in a while. Yeah, all in all, it was great. I saw my hometown for the first time in fucking 2 years or something like that, but you're not here for that. You are here for me to tell you what I read in the month of November. Because, it is a manga log. Yes. Almost done with the year, which is disconcerting. A little crazy. Yeah, 2022 went by pretty fast. And, well, let's just get into what I read in November and not dwell on the large looming thing that is the end of the year. So, with that all being said, let's get into it. First off, I read 33 volumes of manga, 0 comics, and I finished 3 series. So, all in all, a little bit lower than usual. I think that might be because I started playing Octopath Traveler again to try and get that done before the sequel comes out in February, which I'm close to. Very close to beating all that. I just have more side quests in all 8 characters' final chapters, but you're not wondering about that. So, without further ado, I'm going by a little bit faster than usual. Maybe it's because I'm excited to be doing this again. But yeah, let's get on with what I finish this month. Alright, on to what I finished. There was only 3, like I said, and most of them were a little bit longer. By most of them, I mean 2 of them were longer than the one of them. Well, that checks out. Anyways, one is part of a series. The other 2 are a little bit standalone-ish. One is based off of an anime, but anyways, let's get on to what I finished. And the first one that I finished is A Tropical Fish Yearns for Snow. This one is adorable. It gave me a little bit of anxiety because these 2 lovely people do not know how to talk to one another. But yeah, all in all, really solid. 9 volumes and it is finished. Little bit of a type of synopsis. This girl who is Animo is an exchange student, transfer student into a school that's like in the countryside and is shy and what have you. And then she meets this girl who is a year or 2 older than her, if I remember correctly, who is named Kiyoki, I think. And she is the president of the aquarium club. And they get along. It's a Yuri. It's adorable. They just need to talk to each other more often and be happy. And luckily, they found a balance between the 2, learning to be able to talk to other people, but also confide in one another. So, all in all, really solid. Would highly recommend it. It's only $9.99 per volume, so not going to break the bank. And really adorable. Loved it. Onto there. It's the one. So, I've been, reading this series for a bit, and I finally finished part 4. Yes, part 4. If you know manga and anime and what have you, you know the one series that has different parts that are solid, and that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Part 4 finished. Whew. It is a very, very solid, part. The first 2 parts of JoJo's, I was like, meh. Part 1, meh, whatever. It's interesting. It's a little weird at times, but okay. Part 2, I'm like, okay, I like Joseph a little bit more than Jonathan. He's fine. And then, fucking part 3 comes out, and I'm just like, okay. I'm starting to like this. Stands are a lot better than Hamen. And then by the end of part 4, I was just like, Yes, it's awesome. It is really solid. By the end of part 4, I was excited to see how the gang they were just trying to figure out how and who the killer is, which is Kira, I think is how you pronounce his name. I forget how to pronounce his name. It's like Kira or something like that. Anyways, I'm probably butchering his name. And it's essentially just trying to find this dude, trying to stop him from murdering, as well as the fact that he has stand powers, and it is awesome. The first part of part 4, the first half of it, did go a little bit slow, but by the time that it starts ramping up, oh boy, it starts ramping up, and I was hooked. I have already gotten part 5, which I will talk about in the new one, and I am so excited to see where it goes, and I am happy that I stuck with JoJo's. I'm really excited for the remaining parts, which I know that there's 8 parts so far, and I'm excited. Don't know when all the parts are coming out, and yeah, so really solid, really great. I want more. I'll probably reread all of JoJo's at some point when I have time, which I will never have time. Adult life sucks. Anyways, for a bit of a, glimpse of back to childhood and wonder and whimsy, and an anime that I watched, and I didn't know that they created a manga series about, but it wasn't all of the story, and that is Little Witch Academia, which is based off of the Netflix, I think you can find it on Netflix, series, and it is just sort of like a slight retelling. Not really. There's a few stories I think that were added into the manga, but for the most part it takes place majority wise what happens in the series as a whole. It does not go all the way to the end of the series, which I'm a little perturbed about. I think they probably could have done it in 3 more volumes, but I don't know, it was fine. It wasn't crazy. Only 3 volumes, and yeah, it was alright. I'm not going to sing the praises of it as I did JoJo's, but yeah, it was alright. 3 volumes. If you want to check it out, check it out. If you want to see where the story concludes, then go ahead and watch the anime. I highly recommend that, though it has been a few years since I've watched the anime, so I'm not 100% sure how well it is following the plot of the anime compared to the manga, or the manga compared to the anime. So yeah, like I said, only 3 volumes, and recommend 2 of them. One, if you're interested in, which is Little Witch Academia. Maybe. If you have read JoJo's, you'll like JoJo's, and if you like Yuri, you'll like Tropical Fish Yearns for Snow. So, let's get on to the stuff that I started in November. On to what I started this month. Again, it's short. I think only, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 series that I started. Now then, on to the first one, which I don't know how long it's going. I already bought volume 2 because I was interested in it, and it made me a little bit annoyed because I was just like, why is this still a plot? Why does this still happen in the world today? Anyways, and that is Yuri Espor. I don't know how to pronounce the second word. So essentially, what this is I'm annoyed by it a little bit. So this lovely lady right there, who is named Kyoko, finds out that after high school she will be arranged in a marriage with a dude. She's gay. She doesn't want to be in this marriage, but I'm going to get into my complaints about it in a bit. And she asks her friend right here, who is... Dang it. What's her name? They don't show it. Where is the name? It is great. Where is her name? Where is her name? Boop 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 doo. I know it's in the beginning. Amami, I think is how you pronounce her name. She asked her to help her draw different yuri couples or lesbian couples that she sees in the world, while also not really knowing if they were actually gay to begin with. And they have rules set and all that just so that she can be fine with her fantasies when she is forced to marry this dude. And, okay. Concerns. 1. Fuck off, father. Just fuck off. Just, why does it matter? Why the fuck does it still matter? Like, arranged marriages do not, like, sure, some people are fine with them, it's fine. But, fuck right off. I am annoyed at that. Like, she obviously can't really say anything because, you know, her family business is in danger and all that, but why the fuck? Just stop. I hate that. I hate it. I wanted to punch the motherfucker in the face repeatedly. Like, just stop. That annoyed me. That is the part that annoyed me about this, like, manga. I'm wondering where it will go from there, and I'm just, yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna calm down. That part annoyed me. That's the only part. So let's move on from that because I'm annoyed and I want to punch the father, and I hope that she just gets out of this stupid situation, which I hope is true, and I hope I won't be making a video later on down the road when the series finishes where I just scream. So let's move on to the next one, the one that didn't make me want to punch anyone, and the one that I was just like, ooh, this is kind of relaxing, and that is Dungeon People. Not like the last one. Essentially, it is kind of... So, it's essentially the thought process of, you know, all those weird dungeons that pop up in, like, fantasy. How do they get populated? Some people are like, these are old ruins from an old civilization, which is why, you know, in the Forgotten Realms in D&D, like, constantly there are civilizations that rise and then fall, and then this comes up, and it's a lot of different things. Some people are like, you know, it just spawns monsters and treasures and all that wondrous stuff. This one takes the thought process of showing Clay, whose father got lost in the labyrinth, and is essentially recruited by the person that runs the dungeon, the dungeon master, is essentially tasked with being like a caretaker of the dungeon while also making sure people are able to fight and gain a different equipment and what have you. It's a very interesting thing that I'm just like, yeah, I guess. It's funny because Clay believes that she's not that strong, but she is compared to everyone else besides the caretaker, and is just kind of funny just being like, yeah, I need to work out and try better, and then every other monster in the dungeon's like, fuck, no. Why? It's kind of interesting, kind of funny at points, because Clay is just like, yeah, I'm going to do great at my job while also finding out where my father went. And yeah, it's really solid. The art style is very simple, and just look at that. Look. It's kind of adorable at points. Like, the little golems are great. Anyways, yeah. All in all, pretty fun. Pretty fun. Okay, on to one that's a little bit more serious. And that is, oh god, long title. The most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan. So, speaking about weird dungeons and what have you, this lovely man, that's a guy, whose name is Noel, who I thought was a lady, because let me show you what he looked like when in the beginning of the story. Like, this is what he looked like at the beginning. I was like, oh, that's a girl. And then they were like, my grandson. I'm like, oh, okay. And essentially in this world, people gain different classes and what have you, and go and defeat like different sort of dungeons or rifts that appear in the world. And it's sort of like if you've ever played in a MMO type of deal, there's different clans and what have you, parties that are set up to deal with these different things. And his dream is to become the leader of the best guild or best clan in the world, and following in his grandfather's footsteps, who was like one of the most notorious, like crazy overpowered warriors. Turns out his class is a talker, which means that he is buffing everyone. His main skills are just him being able to talk and imbuing people with different things while he is strategizing. Essentially, based off of what he says, improves the success of what is happening. So that's why he is more capable as being the tactician and being able to be like, yo, you do that, well, we do this, and all that fun jazz. And he trained his body to be able to, make up for the fact that it's technically called the weakest class, because, you have to essentially train more to be able to offset the fact that your only skills are buffing the other people. You yourself, don't really get buffed. So, all in all, very interesting. And by the end of it, he gets betrayed and is out for vengeance. It's definitely going to take a darker turn. Very dark, but recommend it. It's interesting. I bought the next 2 volumes, so yeah. From there, like I said, another dark one, and one that I just randomly bought because why not? And that is Sin O Alice or something. I know it's based off a mobile game, that's about it. And I'm not 100% sure the plot of it so far. Essentially, this girl liked a teacher. Her best friend then slept with that teacher, and then her best friend got pregnant with that, teacher's baby. And then she may have jumped off a roof. I'm a little confused. And then other people showed up with weird things dealing with like old fable stories. Like the main girl, she's called Alice, but her name is like blacked out, and like I can't really show you all that much because this was in plastic, so it's not like, hey, this I can show you this. I can't really show you much. Yeah. Wait, I can show you this part. So essentially, like, whenever they say her name, it's blacked out with Alice instead. And there are other characters that show up that are named like Cinderella or Red Riding Hood. And it's interesting. And I'm willing to see where it goes in the next volume. So, yeah. I can't show you much more because it's bloody and some other stuff that's like TNA. So, yeah. Okay, on to the last new thing that I started, where I said in the part where I was talking about JoJo's Part 4, started Part 5. Part 5, I was hyped with Part 5 from the first volume. I don't know if it's because by the end of Part 4, I was just like, yes, let's go. Or it was just because I've heard Giorno's theme so much that I'm just like, I love this. It is interesting. So, like all JoJo's, it is centered around a new JoJo in the Joestar family, but it was... Okay, this part is a little bit weird because technically he is a Joestar, but at the same time he is Dio's son. But at the same time he is a Joestar because at the end of Part 1, technically Dio survived and took over Jonathan's body, at which point in Part 3 he came back to try and cut out all the Joestars. But while he was in Japan, for some strange reason, he also did it with a chick and had a son, Giorno Giovanni. and he was renamed that when they moved to Italy because his mother married an Italian man. Anyways, Giovanni is technically half English, half Japanese, but they constantly say that he's half Italian, half Japanese, which I'm just like, his father though is English because Dio's English, and his mother is Japanese, so that would make him half Japanese, half English, not half Italian. Anyways, it's interesting because Giorno, unlike the other people, wants to be a mafioso. Wow, that I did not pronounce that right. Mafioso, I think. He wants to be in the mafia. There we go. And it is interesting the lengths that he is going through to get into the mafia. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I think he'll be joining the mafia in the next volume. And I'm excited because I like JoJo's now. Anyways. So, yeah. That is what I read this month, starting this month. And it was a eclectic bunch. This one really made me annoyed because of the stupid fucking plot. Anyways, yeah, all in all, really good, really solid, short. So maybe I'll read more this month. Maybe I won't. Who knows? Let's go on to the end of the video. All right. So you made it to the end of the video. Thank you. I am excited for what I'm going to read in December. Granted, I've already lost a whole week to not reading because, I was in New York for that time, away from my apartment, going to a lovely wedding. So hopefully I read more. Hopefully I have a good time. Luckily, I have a lot of time off in December. So much time off that I was surprised seeing that on my schedule. So anyways, hopefully you had a lovely November. Happy Thanksgiving belatedly. You're all safe. You got some good deals during Black Friday, and recommend me things to read. I have a lot of manga, but I'm always willing to expand, even though this apartment is getting so tiny I cannot fit another bookshelf. Anyways, hopefully you stay safe, read manga. The weather's getting sucky, so yeah, that's it. Stay safe. Bye.